Right through was,
Yeah, and everything moved.
I don't know.
Good, Jared.
I don't know
Good,
why.
good.
Like you're
Yeah.
kind of running here, you're.
Well, I was running. It's.
You made it
I knew
by.
this. I knew it was gonna be- I knew it was gonna be tight.
Barriers.
On Clark.
Now they're gonna take it all down.
Mr. Chair, we're ready when you are.
Okay.
Take a breath.
The big screen.
Good evening, everyone. This evening is our monthly meeting of the Board of Adjustment. We are committed to a transparent process and encouragement of public comment during our meetings. We'll be accepting testimony from all parties. If you wish to testify on any particular petition before us this evening using the Zoom platform, please use the raise hand feature. You can raise your hand at any time and we'll recognize you at the appropriate time for the presentation of evidence for each case. If in person this evening, please hand staff your speaker's card. Planner Robin Keefe will be moderating the hybrid meeting and will be asked to provide names of those individuals that wish to speak. I'd like to call the meeting of the City of Wildwood's Board of Adjustment to order. The board members present today are Bob Morris, board member, Kevin Lux, board member, Arnie Sprunger, board member, Michael Lee, board member, and myself, Jared Frank, chair. The Department of Planning staff present today is Joe Bunich, Director of Planning, and Robin Keefe, planner. City Attorney John Young and Court Reporter Courtney Tallman are also present on Zoom. First, I offer into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, March 31st, 2025, and take official notice of the zoning ordinance of City of Wildwood, including Chapter 400, Article 2, authorizing and establishing the Board of Adjustment's powers and duties. Now, let me explain the hearing procedure. Please be aware the information I'm about to describe is also provided on the Board of Adjustment's public hearing procedure handout, which was available online prior and up to tonight's meeting. This hearing is informal in its nature. However, the meeting's proceedings will be recorded by a reporter for future transcription if needed. The petitions are called in the order listed on the agenda. As the petition is called, I will ask for a Department of Planning staff member to read each request into the record. Thereafter, the Department of Planning will have opening remarks and a brief slide presentation. Then the petitioner or his or her representative will be asked to state their name, address, be sworn in by the court reporter, make a brief presentation to the board explaining the nature of the requested variance, and present such evidence and witness testimony that may evidence the practical difficulties or unnecessary hardship that warrant the variance. The board will only consider the unique character of the property to determine whether they warrant the granting of a variance. The petitioner's presentation shall be limited to 15 minutes total, inclusive of any questions posed by the board unless such time is extended by the chair. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts of the petitioner's presentation. When the board is satisfied with the material presented by the petitioner, the chair will then ask if there is anyone present or online who would like to speak in favor or opposition to the requested variance. Each speaker will be asked to provide their name, address, be sworn in, then provide their evidence or oral testimony. Witness testimony shall be limited to 5 minutes, inclusive of any questions posed by the board, unless such time is extended by the chair. Procedurally, the petitioner may request a continuance at any time during the hearing prior to a call for the vote in order to bring in additional evidence or testimony. The board may also continue the proceedings. After the submission of testimony and evidence from all interested parties, the board will ask a staff person to provide the Department of Planning's report on this matter, if requested by any member of the board, the petitioner, or any individual that is participating in person or online. Once all witnesses have been heard, the chair will call for a motion to grant or deny, with or without conditions, then the board will vote. At that time, the presentation of evidence relating to the petition is concluded and no further evidence will be permitted. The board may make a decision today. Board members of the board must vote in favor of the variance for it to be approved. If a variance is approved, the petitioner has 6 months to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use, or it will expire. If the board's decision is unfavorable, the petitioner has the right of appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. This appeal must be done within 30 days of the decision. Ms. Keefe, are there any questions at this time?
Mr. Chair, I have only one individual online who is with our second case this evening. Any questions in the audience? Okay.
Hearing no questions at this time, the meeting will proceed. The department, please read the request into the record, which will be followed by a brief slide presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, members of the board, the first item is BA 5-25, Jeffrey and Tracy Bum, 2489 Grover Ridge Drive, Wildwood, Missouri, 63040. Request an exception to the minimum yard requirements general for the purpose of constructing stairs with associated landing to provide access to a concrete patio from a second floor deck. on the property being located at 2489 Grover Ridge Drive, locator number 23V 121729, Main Street Crossing, Plat 3, Lot 56, which would thereby authorize a rear yard setback distance of 7.5 feet to 15 feet. This request is contrary to the requirements of chapter 415.150 R4 7,500 square foot resident district regulations and Planned Residential Development Overlay District, PRD, ordinance number 2204, which was approved by the Wildwood City Council on August 22nd, 2016. This particular property is located in Ward 8. And before Ms. Keefe begins her presentation, the department would like to enter into the record the following items. Chapter 400, 2 of the City of Wildwood Municipal Code, the Board of Adjustment. Chapter 415 of the same City of Wildwood Municipal Code, its zoning ordinance. File that has been developed and maintained by the Department of Planning regarding this particular request and all contents contained therein, including the department's report with recommendation. And then finally, any testimony, exhibits, plats, maps, or other items offered as part of tonight's public hearing. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. As noted, our first case this evening has to do with a set of stairs and associated landing being constructed within the rear yard setback area of home. These stairs are associated with a deck and patio project. The subject site of this request is a 0.13 acre lot within Plat 3 of the Main Street Crossing subdivision, which has an overall 104 lots to it. The subject property is zoned R4 7,500 square foot residence district and also has an approved planned residential development overlay district associated with it, which was first approved in 2015 and then amended in 2016. These together, the zoning district and the PRD, require a 20-foot front yard setback distance, a 5-foot side yard setback distance, and a 15-foot rear yard setback distance. The topography associated with this property is actually fairly steep once you get towards the back of it. There's 20 feet of overall relief, and the property is primarily covered in grassy turf. The subject property is occupied by a single-family dwelling that was built in 2019. It has a total living area of 1,807 square feet. Here are the stairs associated with a new deck and patio project, rather modifications to an existing deck. And this is a closer up view of the plants. The idea here is to more easily access a new patio space from a second story wood deck that is being modified and updated. So you would be able to access each space without having to go inside the home. Placement for these stairs, according to the applicants, is limited due to an existing retaining wall system and also windows on the house that prevent placement of the stairs in some alternative locations that have been considered. This is the side elevation of the stairs and associated projects. This is the existing deck with retaining walls and the gravel base area where the new patio will go into. This is an example of a similar deck finish that was provided with the application. This is the front of the home and we're looking west. This is Grover Ridge Drive looking south. And this is looking north. This is the side yard between the subject house and the dwelling of the neighbor next door to the south. This is a view of the rear of the subject dwelling and the existing deck. This is a view west towards Highway 109. This is the rear yard of the petitioner's dwelling. This is a view to the north. The neighbor there. It's going a little slow this evening. There's the gravel patio area, and this is the neighbor. Oops. That was the neighbor to the south. All right, and then this is the final picture of the petitioner's residence, just with a little bit more perspective to it. And that is all I have for you this evening. It should be noted that with the application, it was noted that both of the affected neighbors here have expressed support for the project. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, the department's available at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Keefe. This time, will the petitioner please come forward, state his or her name, address, relation to the property, and be sworn in by the court reporter?
Wife Tracy, we're 2489 Grover Ridge Trail, Grover Drive, Trail, in Wildwood. We moved in the house in November.
Just about your owner of the property,
Yes, we own the property.
and we'll get you sworn in here.
We moved in November.
Just about,
And
we'll
as you
get
can see-
you sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
We do.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
We moved in November. As you can see, the patio in the back was never quite finished. They had gravel with the retaining wall. The deck, wood, it's seen better days. They tried to stain it to make it look better, but we're going to basically reclad that with composite material, new handrail. The purpose for the stairs is kind of twofold. One is just convenient access from the deck down to the patio. One, just kind of let our dog out instead of having to go downstairs. But the more important reason is kind of a second means of egress. If there's a fire in the front of our house, we'd have to jump off that deck, and you can see the fall that we'd have to try to get away from a fire. At least the stairs gives us some second means of egress from the house. We tried to, I'm an architect, I tried to maneuver it around the retaining wall, but with the amount of stairs and the head clearance to try to get back under the stairs, it got very close to the window, almost the very center of the deck instead of at the very end, because of the way the retaining wall curves around. So basically, I'm putting this whole stair in front of a window and taking up almost half the patio space down below. We'll be putting stamped concrete on the gravel. That's been contracted. That should happen sometime here in April. And so as soon as that gets done, then our intent is to do the stair improvement and deck improvements.
Thank you, appreciate the presentation.
Looks like a lot of septic claim.
Well, there's no more than one going down to the basement, but it's not too bad because with the return stair, it's only 14 steps, 14 risers.
Any questions from the board? Any speakers in the audience who may want to speak in favor or opposition to this request? As a reminder, each speaker has 5 minutes to present, inclusive of the board's questions, unless the chair allows additional time.
Mr. Chair, the only attendee online is associated with the next application.
Does anybody would like to hear an oral presentation of the department's report on this matter? Seeing none, any final comments from the department? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, the department is in support of this request. We feel that the stairs, which are the primary intrusion into that rear yard setback, is actually fairly minimal when compared to the rest of the improvements being done in the space. Additionally, I think it helps that the property does back up to public space and common ground. And in fact is at a different elevation from the trail below. So it gives a little bit more breathing room between the rear yard of the property and anyone who's using that public space. With both the neighbors in support, we're in support as well. Thank you.
Ms. Keith? Any final comments, questions for? This time we will close the proceeding for a vote. And I'll have a vote, a motion to approve, deny, or approve with conditions. Thank you, Mr. Lux. Do we have a second? Mr. Lee? Mr. Sprunger, how do you vote?
Approve.
Mr. Lux? Approved. Mr. Lee? Approved. Mr. Morris? And I approve as well. Congratulations, your variance is approved.
Thank you.
With my permit, do I need to reference anything on the variance on my permit? When I submit for it, is there?
We'll provide you an official letter of
Okay,
documentation.
great, perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the flexibility on the date
Really like
change as
living in
well.
Wildwood.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll proceed to the next variance request.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, members of the board, our second and final item tonight is BA 6-25 Banyan Ventures LLC, 7645 Delmar Boulevard, second floor, St. Louis, Missouri, 63130. Aaron Glass, landmark sign USA, 175 Chesterfield Industrial Boulevard, Chesterfield, Missouri, 63005. Request an exception to the business signs attached to wall for the purpose of erecting one roof wall sign attached to the building located upon the property at 16497 Clayton Road, located number 21U120327, Mallard Park Estates, which would thereby authorize an internal lighting source in lieu of the required external type and the elimination of the use of individual letters for the face of the sign. Additionally, the requested sign would be flush mounted on the face of the building, not offset a minimum of 1 inch. These sign requirements are stipulated by chapter 415.420, sign regulations for all C and M districts of the City of Wildwood zoning ordinance, chapter 415.190, PA Plan Commercial District regulations of the City of Wildwood zoning ordinance, and amended CA Plan Commercial District Ordinance number 977, formerly 335. This request is also to be reviewed by the Architectural Review Board at its March 13, 2025 meeting, as required by Chapter 415-400 Sign Regulations General. This particular property is located in Ward 2, and as with the other case, the department, before Ms. Keith begins her presentation, would like to introduce into the record the following items. Chapter 400, Article 2 of the City of Wildwood's Municipal Code, Board of Adjustment. Chapter 415 of the same City of Wildwood Municipal Code, the zoning. The file that has been developed and maintained regarding this particular request and all contents contained therein, including the department's report with recommendation. And then finally, any testimony, exhibits, plats, or plans, or other items offered as part of tonight's hearing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Director Bunich.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, our second case this evening does. Please wait just one moment while I address a technical difficulty. Something. I apologize. Let's start that again. Mr. Chair, members of the board, our second case this evening is regarding a new business sign that requires multiple variances from the Board of Adjustment, with the primary variance having to do with it being internally lit as opposed to externally lit as permitted by the governing ordinance in the zoning district. However, due to its internal lighting source, it's also of a different nature than pinned on individual letters, as stipulated by the city's code requirements. And additionally, the sign would not be flush mounted to the face of the building. It would be flush mounted, but not offset by the 1 inch that's typically required of the lettering. The subject property is a 0.89 acre lot that is at the northeastern corner of Clayton and Strecker Roads, which are both arterials and high traffic roads. The property is zoned commercial plan C8 planned commercial district. Sorry about that. And it does have a governing ordinance associated with it. The property is utilized for a commercial building serving multiple tenants, including a boutique, a hair salon, and financial services, as well as the tenant of the petitioner, which is a personal training facility. Against Gravity, which is the tenant, is moving to a different location within that same building. They have previously had signage approved by this board for a similar variance request. Due to the city's chapter 415-400 sign regulations general, the Architectural Review Board is also required to review signs requesting variances from this board. And as such, reviewed the sign on March 13th of this month. The board consensus was that the sign looked nice and was in character with the surrounding signage in the area. As noted, this petitioner is previously at a different location in this same building, but is moving to these 3 tenant spaces on the eastern side of it. And given such, the size calculations for the signage does include the facades of all 3 spaces. The overall sign size is 20 square feet in area, which is within the city's regulations. As noted, the sign is planned to be internally lit with light white lettering on a dark background, which gives it a halo lighting effect. It is 4,000 kelvins, which is within the city's regulations, and will have to follow all other outdoor lighting requirements as well. As noted earlier, it is a cabinet construction given the internal lighting of it. This is a view of the whole building looking north. The tenant was previously in this space and is now this is looking more east. Across the street is a landscape business. And this is Clayton. Again, that was that previous space. This signage will be removed as the tenant moves to the new location of the building. This is an example of other signage on that same building. And as noted, 3 previous variance requests, all of a similar nature, have been approved by this board for this same building. If the board members have any questions at this time, Director Bunich and I are available to answer them. Thank you.
Questions for the department? At this time, will the petitioner please come forward, state his or her name, address, relation to the property, and we'll get you sworn in by the court reporter.
Hey, everybody, can you hear me?
Yes, proceed. It's Mr.
Okay.
Allen.
Yes, this is Adrian Allen.
If you can state your name, address, in relation to this property, and then we'll get you sworn in, Mr. Allen.
Sure thing. Yeah, I'm Adrian Allen. I'm owner of Landmark Sign Company. Our business address is 175 Chesterfield Industrial Boulevard in Chesterfield, Missouri 63005. And I'm the sign company that's been hired to install this sign.
Okay. Sir, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Allen, if you could please explain the nature of the request and the hardship or practical difficulty necessitating the variance.
Yeah, I think that it was mostly covered in the staff report. The applicant would like to have an illuminated sign like the other signs on the building that have previously been approved. And the hardship would just be that if conforming to the code in Wildwood, their sign would be invisible during the night. And so that's essentially it.
Any questions on the board from Mr. Allen? Any speakers in the audience that may want to speak in favor or opposition to this request?
Mr. Chair, I see no raised hands.
Seeing none, anybody would like to hear the oral presentation of the department's report? None. Any final comments the Department of Planning would like to make? Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, the department is supporting this request as well. We agree with the Architectural Review Board and that it is going to look nice and in character with the area. Generally with the light lettering and the dark background, it's following best practices in terms of what we want to see there. Also, in the past, we've mentioned the architecture of the building, which has pitched roofs and shed type roof types, which kind of regresses the sign underneath and makes it difficult to put external lighting around the sign in those spaces, which is why this sign has been approved for internal lighting in the past. And generally, the sign is facing other commercial areas, so we don't see an intrusion to any of the residential areas. Thank you.
Ms. Keefe? Any final comments from the board? This time, we will close the proceeding for a vote. Can I have a motion to approve, motion to deny, or approve with conditions?
I'll make a motion to approve request.
Thank you, Mr. Sprunger. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Lux. We have a second. Mr. Morris, how do you vote?
Approve.
Mr. Lux? Approve. Mr. Sprunger? Approve. Mr. Lee?
Approve.
And I approve as well. Congratulations, your variance is approved.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Brings us to our last item of business on tonight's agenda, which is to approve the minutes of the board's February 20th, 2025 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as stated?
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, and a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris, how do you vote?
Approve.
Mr. Lux?
Approve.
Mr. Sprunger? Approve. Mr. Lee?
Approve.
And I approve as well. The minutes from February's meeting are approved.
If I may, I'd just like to thank you all for accommodating the special night and allowing us to address these two requests, given the nature of them. So thank you very much.
Sure, you're welcome. Thank you, Director Bunich and Ms. Keefe for facilitating, room and all. That being said, any other additional business? It's you as well. Consider this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.